Hello, this is Janice from Space to Relax, and the video I'm about to show you is a replay of a live Qigong class which I taught this morning via Zoom. I'll be teaching these classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays every week for the duration of COVID-19 and until I can get back into my face-to-face acupuncture and Chinese medicine clinics. This video is suitable for those of you who are beginners and also anyone who might have a little bit more advanced Qigong training. I hope you enjoy it, and if you'd like to join me for the live classes, then please click the link which is next to this video. If you're watching this video on YouTube, then so you don't miss future videos that I upload here, just hit the red subscribe button.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at today, and I didn't mention it in the very first live class that we did last Tuesday, is the position of your head and your neck when you're either standing or when you're sitting. So in Qigong, there are two areas which are, I suppose, traditionally known as quite difficult to what's called regulate. And when we say regulate in Qigong, it means to kind of keep mostly as open and free flowing as possible in terms of Qi flow. So those two areas are the back of the neck and also the lower back area. So we're going to look at the back of the neck area today, and I'm going to show it to you sitting down. Now, I did mention to you in the class at the last Tuesday, when you're standing or when you're sitting, what you're looking for is length in the back of the neck. And the reason for that is if you imagine all of those little bones in the back of the neck going up into the, and ending at the back of the head, if you imagine the vertebrae, all of those bones, if your neck is bent, if it's curved, what it does is it squashes all the vertebrae together. And so when everything is squashed, then obviously it's much more difficult for the Qi or the energy to flow through that area, and also for the blood to do that as well, because it's squashing all the blood vessels, it's squashing all the nerves. So everything is a bit too squashy. And what you want to do is open it up and elongate it. That's what you're looking for. And if you think about the back of the neck area and the lower back, which I'll talk about in another lesson, if you think about those two areas, they're kind of top and bottom of your spine, and your whole spine is your backbone, it's your central pillar. So if things are kind of blocked anywhere along there, then it's very difficult for circulation of Qi to get out and around to the rest of the body. So we'll look at the back of the neck first and try and get that little bit more length today before we do a really nice gentle moving practice. Okay, so remember what I said to you last Tuesday in the lesson was you're looking to tuck the chin down a tiny bit, but really the chin is parallel with the floor. So it's not too far down here, and it's definitely not up like that. And even if you're just sitting or standing now, just move very gently, just move your head up and down and see what happens. Really kind of maybe close your eyes even and observe what you notice in the back of your neck. So if you tilt your chin down, you'll probably find everything kind of stretches quite nicely along the back of the neck. And then if you move your chin up to the ceiling, you'll feel that compression. You'll feel everything getting squashed, everything pushing together. So what you want is the middle ground there, because although when you tilt the head forwards, you feel that nice openness, if your head is too far tilted forwards for a long time, you will end up with quite a lot of tension and pressure in the back of the neck and going into the shoulders, because your head is quite a heavy object. It's one of the heaviest parts of your body. So you've got that weight just kind of bearing down on all those muscles. So you want to find that kind of even position. But then the other thing to remember, as well as having the chin parallel with the ground, is to have the chin tucked in and kind of pulled back, almost drawn back in towards your throat. And as you do that, you'll feel a little bit more extension and openness up the back of the head. So I'm going to show you the difference by sitting sideways on. That's probably the easiest way to illustrate. So I'm sitting sideways on now. Now I can't look at you and give you the alignment, so I'm just going to look in this direction. And if you look at me now, so if I tilt my head up, you see everything here is very kind of squashy and bent. If I tilt my head forward, that's kind of good, but it's all open, but you've got this weight that's kind of acting in this direction, which is going to put strain on all the muscles in the back of the neck and in the shoulders here. So what you're looking for is the chin to be parallel with the floor, with the ground, And then watch what I do now is I don't have to put my finger on my chin, but I'm going to show you the direction in which my finger is going. So I'm now going to tuck the chin down a tiny bit and then move it in. Do you see how my hand moves there, how my finger moves? It's drawing it back. And as it draws back, what I'm feeling is lovely kind of elongation up the back of the head and the neck here. And then also what I feel is actually kind of a release of tension going down into the shoulders and even between the shoulder blades here. So what you'll notice is that this movement of the chin going back towards the throat will give you a lovely kind of sense of release going all the way down the back. So just kind of bear that in mind. I've shown you that in quite a bit of detail, and a good time to bear this in mind for any of you. I know most of us are in lockdown at the moment, so we're not really driving anywhere so much, but when you are driving, when you do come to drive, especially for longer journeys, what you'll find is that if you have this lovely position like this, you'll find that you don't get all the tension in your shoulders and your neck. Because when we're driving, most of us, even if we're good enough to have our hands at kind of the 10 to 2 position on the steering wheel, most of us are like this. It's really bad. And you can see people when they're driving around, they look like this. So what you want to do is give yourself that elongation like that. If you sit and you drive like that, and you have this part, the middle kind of part of your head here, in contact with the headrest and the hands on the steering wheel, shoulders nice and relaxed, you won't get that tension. So do bear that in mind, because I know definitely one of my students in my live workshops, when she came back the next time, she said the takeaway thing for her from that previous workshop was the fact that she was using this when she was driving, and it made such a huge difference to how her shoulders felt, and also to her levels of tiredness after she'd been driving for, you know, longer distances. She felt really not so tired at all, and I've noticed it as well since I've been really practicing that when I'm driving. But you do have to keep correcting your posture. You'll find as you're driving, you just fall out of it. As you're sitting there, you just fall out of that correct posture, and you have to keep kind of adjusting as you go along. So that's just a little bit on head and neck. And I know some of you in this group have, you know, some of you have commented that you do have problems with discomfort and stiffness in kind of head, neck, shoulder area. So that will be really helpful for you. And every time you think of it, just remember to make that small adjustment. So just chin tucked down very slightly, because usually we kind of walk around with our head in the air. Just tuck it in very slightly, and back towards the throat. Okay? So what you can do now, I'm going to move on to just showing you a really nice little movement exercise, which I think you'll enjoy. Bear in mind that posture of the head and the neck, and you can do this either from a sitting position, and the sitting position I reviewed in the class last Tuesday in that first live lesson, so you might want to go back to that afterwards and have a look, but you're sitting on the first third of the chair, or you can do this standing. So I'm going to stand so I can show you this and you can see me a lot more clearly. Okay. Just bear with me 1 second there. Okay. Right, now, can you all just check that you are muted? If you want to find the mute button, it's on the bottom left-hand corner. I can hear somebody and I'm not able to mute everybody, I'm afraid. Thank you so much, that's great. Okay. Right, so the class that I taught last Thursday, and again, not all of you would have been at that, but you have the replay, was looking at a circles exercise in order to move the chi in the 4 directions, which were out, up, in, and down. So it was this movement we were doing, if you remember correctly, up and around and down. Okay, so that's one way in which we can move and really move our bodies physically, but also create the conditions by which the chi can flow more freely. That's what we're looking for. When the chi is moving freely, then the body naturally brings itself back into balance and begins to start healing itself. So what we can also do is work with another circular exercise, which is moving and circulating the chi in a more kind of forwards direction, and then drawing the chi back into this lower abdominal area. So for those of you who are new to Qigong, this area in the lower abdomen here, which is below the belly button and deep inside, has a special name. It's got a technical kind of Chinese medicine name, and it's called Tian. And I think of it, and a good way to think of it, I think, is that rather than it being one point, it's not like an acupuncture point where it's in one spot. It's actually this whole area. And I think of Tian as almost like a front-loading washing machine. So it's like a drum, and you've got all the chi, the energy spinning around inside, circulating inside. This is your almost like your powerhouse, your engine of your body. So if you can bring more chi into Tian, into this area, you don't have to do anything else then. It will just naturally, it's spinning around, so it will just naturally then begin to circulate the chi around the rest of your body. So if you can get the chi in or create the conditions by which the chi kind of wants to come in very easily, then you're going to elevate your energy levels. You're going to have more energy for your body to heal itself. And this is a lovely, relaxing, again, a circular exercise, but there are a few things you can focus on as we do this. So what we're going to do first is just focus on the movement. So just bear in mind where Tian is. So Tian's not just at the front here, it's deep inside, and also be thinking of the back of the body as well. So Tian goes out and back as far as your spine, into your lower back. So it's that whole kind of, it's almost like a big ball inside your lower abdomen, extending right out to your back. So bear that in mind as I talk you through the exercise, okay? So just beginning in a standing or a sitting position. So if you're standing, your feet are hip width distance apart, and you've got your knees are nice and relaxed, just kind of a little micro bend in the knees. The weight is evenly distributed between the balls of your feet and your heels, and just feel really nice and kind of grounded and stable in that position. Now, your arms just hanging loosely, so maybe just give them a little bit of a shake out there. So you're like a puppet on a string with your arms. And then check the position of your head and neck, as we were doing just earlier in this lesson. So just now, make sure that your chin is parallel to the ground, and you just draw it back towards your throat so you feel that lovely elongation up the back of the neck and into the back of the head. And just for a moment now, close your eyes and breathe. So breathing in through the nose, and feel your belly, that Tian area, expand like you're blowing up a balloon. And then as you breathe out, just feel the belly shrinking, getting smaller, sinking back towards the spine. So the breath is in and out through the nose, and it should just be smooth and soft and silent. It doesn't have to be a deep breath. It can be just a shallow little movement. It doesn't have to be any big, there should be no big kind of hopping and popping. It should be nice and smooth and silent. And if you find as you're doing this that you feel a little bit lightheaded or a little bit dizzy, it's because you're actually breathing too deeply. You're taking in too much oxygen. So breathe a little bit more shallowly if you feel that that's happening. Okay, and now just gently opening your eyes and just keeping going with that breathing. So what we're going to do now is very slowly bring your attention and bring your mind to the backs of your hands, and slowly what you're going to think of doing is just moving the backs of your hands forwards, just a little bit in front of your body. And then as you reach kind of, not the full extent, you don't want to fall over, but as you reach forwards and you feel there's a little bit more maybe tension in your legs, or you feel like you're having to lean forwards, just then begin to turn the hands over, turn the thumbs up towards the ceiling or the sky, and bring the palms of the hands to face each other. And from there, just drawing the palms of the hands back towards Tian, keeping the shoulders down. And again, pushing the backs of the hands forwards. And then bringing the palms together by turning the thumbs up and drawing the hands back towards Dantian. So it's like you're swimming through melted chocolate or treacle. Backs of the hands going forwards. Palms of the hands coming together. So this is all happening at the level of Dantian, at the level of the hips. So your arms are not going up in the air. There should be very little muscular effort involved. So now, hopefully you've got the hang of that very simple circular movement. Now, as you push the backs of the hands forwards, breathe out. And as you draw the hands back towards Dantian, breathe in. Hands going forwards, breathe out. So you're doing this at your own pace to match your own speed of breathing. Hands coming back towards Dantian, breathing in. Keeping the shoulders down and nice and relaxed. Hands go forwards, breathe out. Palms coming to face each other and then breathing in, coming back towards Dantian. Now, if you're confident with this movement and the breathing, you might just now want to close your eyes. And just keep going with that. And just pay very gentle attention, nothing too concentrated or focused, to your hands. What do you feel happening in your hands right now? I can feel a little bit of tingling, a little bit of warmth. But I know some people, when they do this exercise, feel coolness, and that's fine too. And if you feel anything, is that sensation just located in your hands? Or does it travel up the arms a little bit? And just keep going with the breath, in and out through the nose. Breathing out, hands come forwards. Breathing in, hands come back towards Dantian. Now, ideally, with this exercise, you would practice it outside, because what you want to be thinking of as you're breathing in and drawing the hands back towards Dantian is bringing in lovely, nourishing, energizing qi from the outside. So if you're in a lovely natural setting, in your garden, in a forest, on the beach, then you really can draw the qi in from the outside. And remember, that's all you're looking to do, is to create the conditions by which qi from the outside world, from the environment, can come in to energize you and to benefit your health by entering your energy center in Dantian, and then Dantian just distributes that around your body for you. So now, as you bring the hands back towards Dantian, now just pay very gentle attention to bringing that lovely qi, that lovely energy in from the outside. And if you're practicing this indoors, as most of us are, I think, because we're on computers, then even to just look out the window or just have that vision in your mind's eye of bringing in lovely, healing, energizing qi from the outside. and closing the eyes, just to really feel into that. So observing carefully now. How do your hands feel? How do your arms feel? Do you feel any tension anywhere in the body? If you do, as you're breathing out, when the hands go forward, just thinking of sinking into that, releasing that and letting it go. And just do 3 more circles in your own time with your own breath. And when you've finished, just placing one hand flat on the lower belly with the hand on top of that. Closing your eyes. And now thinking of that area in your lower belly of Tian, sealing in, thinking of really consolidating and sealing in all that lovely chi that you've drawn in from the outside. And to do that, just giving your belly a little rub, just slowly circling, firstly in one direction, and then in the other direction. Bringing the hands together, rubbing them until they get really, really hot. And then if you're wearing glasses, you may want to take them off. I'm going to place one palm over each eye, fingers facing up towards the ceiling or the sky. Feeling the heat from the palms of your hands going in through the eyes to nourish your mind all the way back into your head. And then to bring yourself back, just giving your face a little massage, a little face wash. And as you do that, slowly opening your eyes and allowing the hands just to drop down, hang by the sides. Just give them a little shake out. Just check that you're nice and relaxed. You shake out your legs now. If you're standing, you've been standing there for a little while. Okay. And so that exercise of simple circles like that is following on, as I said, from the circles exercise that we did in last Thursday's lesson. And also we're using the Qigong stance that we practiced in last Tuesday's lesson. So if you want to refer back to either of those 2 lessons, they're on my webpage, which is spacetorelax.com, and you'll find them if you go to the blog tab in the menu. It's the last 2 videos that you'll see there. But I also sent them out as a replay to those of you who were registered last week. But if you're new and you're just joining me for the first time today, you obviously won't have those emails. But those replays are on the website.
If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to learn some more Qigong from me, then you can do 3 things. The first thing is you can sign up for my free 3-part Qigong video series, which will be delivered to your email over the course of around a week. And you'll find the link to sign up for that on my homepage, on my website, which is spacetorelax.com. The second thing you can do is sign up and join me for the Zoom live classes, which are on Tuesday mornings and Thursday afternoons, and they'll be for the duration of COVID-19. So I'll put the link next to this video somewhere either below or above, so you can sign up and join me there. And the third thing you can do if you're watching this video on YouTube is hit the red subscribe button so that you don't miss any future videos from me. If you did enjoy this video, then please share it with your family and friends. Hopefully they'll join in and have some fun with practicing Qigong too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.